Hi everybody, and thanks for watching. My name is Mike Jensen, and this is
Elia Farron.
We wanted to do a segment for you to help clarify some of the changes in Magic that are going to be coming up, and Eli will go over some of that with us.
Okay, there are 4 rules that are changing on July 13th. What we're going to do is we're going to tell you what rules are changing, a past example, what's currently in place in the recording of this video, and what will happen after and on July 13th.
The first rule that we're going to be going over is sideboarding. We both feel that this is going to be the most impactful on numerous levels. The previous rule was you can only have 0 or 15 cards in your sideboard at any given time. The future rule is that you can have up to 15 cards in your sideboard at any time.
That's correct.
The main deck is still a minimum of 60.
Mm-hmm. What this allows you to do, for instance, would be to register a 75 card deck and a 0 card sideboard, play that 75 cards for your first game, and then board out any cards that you feel you don't need. This also allows you to register, say, a 65 card deck and a 10 card sideboard, and exchange as you feel, down to a 60 card deck and a 15 card sideboard in your second game.
Reading on the Mothership's website, I seen an example saying that players would, in Legacy, would Burning Wish or wish for a card in their sideboard and forget to take the card out and then get a game lost because of it. And I think they wanted to change the way that worked and interacted. And I think it's exciting. I'm not going to be having a 75 card main deck, but some people might want to take advantage of it. I also think it could also introduce new transformational sideboards or transformational decks. So your deck can run completely different and only have, side 4 cards out or what have you. The second rule that we're going to be going is the legendary or Planeswalker uniqueness rule. In the past, if you had a Geist of Saint draft and I cast my Geist of Saint draft or cloned it by any means, both permanents would be destroyed immediately upon entering the battlefield. With the new rules, both players are treated like an entity. So if I was playing Eli, he could have a Geist of Saint draft, and I can clone his Geist of Saint draft, and we could both have Geist of Saint drafts.
There is an interesting update to this rule. It's more reminiscent of the original legendary rule, which is that when you play a legendary creature that shares a name with another legendary creature in play, you choose one of them, and all the rest with the same name are destroyed.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of ways that you can actually abuse this in the future. Mox Opal comes to mind. That seems really powerful.
And it's the same for Planeswalker rules. So this makes some interesting scenarios, like upgrading a Liliana of the Veil to, say, a Liliana of Dark Realms, or any of these, a Jace Bellerin to a Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I think it'll allow some of the other versions of the Planeswalkers to be played.
Right. It also takes away any fear of packing 4 of anything in a main deck.
Right, because you can just reset the loyalty whenever you have an extra one.
Right, and I think that it actually might be because of Theros. It's all stipulation, but I think that it's possible that we're going to be seeing a lot of legends in the future, and that might play a huge role into what's happening. The next one we're going to be going over is actually the additional lands rule. Eli's going to be covering some of that.
Okay. The way it works currently is that if you have an additional land drop, so for instance you have an Oracle of Muldaya in play, you can play your first land for the turn and declare it as an additional land drop for Oracle of Muldaya. You can then attack with the Oracle of Muldaya, lose it in the combat step, reanimate it, for instance, play your second additional land, so you have an additional land, that's 2 lands that you've played so far this turn, and then also on your second main phase, play your allocated land for the turn. So, I mean, there's some pretty messy things that can happen.
Right, and under the new rules, it basically just asks you, how many lands have I played this turn? And the same instance of the same card doesn't trigger or stack like it used to, if you have 2 Oracle of Modias, you do get your 2 turns. If you have 2 Explorers in play, you do get to play 2 additional lands per turn. But if you bounce, like he was saying, if you Momentary Blink or Restoration Angel, it's not going to trigger twice. I never seen it come up in my experience of Magic. I think if it did, it probably would have been when Turbo Land was a deck with Jace the Mind Sculptor and Oracle of Moldiah and all that fun stuff. But I think it might be showing up to the rules changes late. But
the main thing that happens is whenever you play a land, you take a special action to play a land, and it checks how many lands you have played that turn and how many lands you are currently allowed to play.
Okay.
So it could change throughout the turn. You know, if you lose, say your Azusa gets Doombladed or something, you then lose those land drops if you haven't played those lands already.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. The final rule that we got that we're going to be going over today, I'm not sure if I've seen an application for it at all.
The main thing is indestructible is now a keyword. So you can actually cause a creature to lose indestructible. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but indestructibility currently as it stands is not a keyword ability. You can't cause a Darksteel Colossus to lose indestructible because it is not ability. And an ability is simply a word in English that means can't be destroyed.
Okay.
So now they have updated it, turned it into a keyword. So now your turn and burn will destroy a Blightsteel Colossus.
I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but you know.
I mean, it could be relevant. And the other thing is, for example, with Boros Charm, which gives all of your creatures currently in play indestructible. The way it works currently, under the rules before July 13th, is you may cast a Boros Charm, and then cast a Snapcaster Mage, and your opponent will not be able to do anything about that Snapcaster Mage because the Snapcaster Mage will be indestructible.
Okay, so that changes. So
which is counterintuitive. Now it will be an ability, and it will be given. It timestamps everything that is in play when that spell is cast, and those things have indestructible. If the creature is not in play when the spell resolves, it will never have indestructibility from that spell.
Okay, that seems pretty understandable. That's pretty much it for the 4 rules that are going to be changing. Hope you guys can get it down before that starts again. That's July 13th this year.
We will have a link to the article on Wizards' website in the description.
Right. Last thing I want to go over is league stuff. There are currently 16 people signed up for the league. I've talked to Bob, and I want to thank everybody who signed up for the league. And speaking with Bob and thanking everybody at Chimera Hobby Shop, the prizes will actually be in-store credit instead of actual product, but it's the product of your choice, which I feel is much better anyways. So I really look forward to seeing everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe us and share with friends, share on Facebook, do all that stuff. Again, my name is Mike Jensen, and this is
Ilya Farron.
Thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the future videos.